Out from the marsh, from the foot of misty hills and bogs, bearing God's hatred, Grendel came, hoping to kill.
I'm gonna kill you!
Gleamed in the darkness, burned with a gruesome light. Then he stopped, seeing the hall, crowded with sleeping warriors.
Yummy, yummy!
Stuffed with rows of young soldiers, resting together, and his heart laughed. He relished the sight, intended to tear the life from those bodies.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Grendel snatched at the first beat he came to, ripped him apart, cut his body to bits with powerful jaws, drank the blood from his veins, and bolted him down, hands and feet, death. And Grendel's great teeth came together, and he thought, He stepped to another, still body, clutched at Beowulf with his claws, grasped at a strong-hearted, wakeful sleeper.
Hey, get off my head!
And was instantly seized himself. Claws bent back as Beowulf leaned up on one arm. He knew at once that nowhere on earth had he met a man whose hands were harder.
Strong hands, I like.
Grendel's one thought was to run from Beowulf, flee back to his marsh and hide there.
Let me go, I won't eat you.
This was a different Heorot than the hall he had emptied. But Hygelac's follower remembered his final boast, and standing erect, stopped. The monster's flight fastened those claws on his fists till he cracked, clutched Grendel closer. The infamous killer fought for his freedom, wanting no flesh but to retreat, but desiring nothing but escape. His claws had been caught, he was trapped. That trip to Heorot was a miserable journey for the writhing monster. In new terror, cowering in the beds as the terrible screams of the almighty enemy sang. In the darkness, the horrible shrieks of pain and defeat, the tears torn out of Grendel's taut throat, Hell's captive, caught in the arms of him who of all men on earth was the strongest.
And I became He-Man,
Beowulf,
the most powerful man in the universe.
They could hack at Grendel from every side, trying to open a path for his evil soul, but their points could not hurt him. The sharpest and hardest iron could not scratch at his skin.
Ha ha ha, you can't get me.
For that sin-stained demon had bewitched all men's weapons, laid spells that blunted every mortal man's blade. Grendel saw that his strength was deserting him.
I'm weakening.
His claws bound fast, Hygelac's brave follower tearing at his hands. The monster's hatred rose higher, but his power had gone. He twisted in pain, and the bleeding sinews deep in his shoulder snapped.
This hurts.
Muscle and bone split and broke. The battle was over. Beowulf had been granted new glory. Grendel escaped, but wounded as he was, could flee to his den.
I'm victorious!
His miserable hole at the bottom of the marsh, only to die, wait for the end. Beowulf, a prince of the Geats, had killed Grendel, ended the grief, the sorrow, the suffering, forced on Hrothgar's helpless people by a bloodthirsty fiend. No Dane doubted the victory, for the proof. Hanging high from the rafters where Beowulf had hung it was the monster's arm, claw, and shoulder and all.